So this is where we left off, and I believe this is the third tutorial. In this tutorial I will introduce variables. Once again, if you already know Java and you already know what a variable is, you can skip this. But you can always watch it again if you want a refresher. So first thing we need to do is we need to type public int. An int is basically an integer. It's one of the most basic variables in Java. So we're just going to name it. Basically, variables are anything you save anything in. So ints you save numbers in, obviously, and they have to be whole numbers, so no decimals. So you could use one to save like player health. So if we name it public int health, then okay. So we have public int health, and we're getting this error because we're not setting it to anything. So let's just say your health equals 20. And get rid of public there. So, sorry about that, but public should not have been there. It should just be int health equals 20. So then, the cool thing about system.out.println is that you don't need to pass in a thing in quotations like hi. Instead, you can just pass in a variable name. So if you type health here and you run this, you will get 20 here. And as you can see, we put set health as 20 here, and then we just simply print it out. And make sure when you're trying to print a variable, you do not put it in quotes, because if you do put this in quotes, it will just print out what you put in quotes. See health right here. So make sure that you do not put quotes on those. So then, what you can do with integers or ints is you can add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Basically, that's more or less the basics. So let's say health now equals 19. You can also change the value like that. So then, once again, we can do system println health. And if you run that, you get 20 and 19. The reason we did not put int in front of this one is because Java already knows it's an int because we just told it right here. But if we remove this, then it doesn't know that this is an int, and we have to put int here. And also, because this variable is not said before this, it doesn't know what that variable is. So let's just ignore that. Leave it like that. And then another thing you can do is health equals health plus 1. So health is now going to equal whatever health is plus 1. And then another cool trick about Eclipse is control space does, like if you type something, you press control space, it gives you possibilities for commands you want to use. Or if you type SYSOUT and then press control space, it automatically fills out this for you. So instead of writing all this, you just type SYSOUT. So in here we'll just print out health again, and we'll see 20, 19, 20. Yep, 20, 19, 20. Now, because it's an int, an easier way to do this is you simply put plus plus, which takes this int and adds 1 to it. So if we run this, we get the same results. So, like you can add, you can also subtract. So health equals health minus 1. And then if we print out health again, you'll see 20, 19, 20, 19. Now, a much easier way to do this is like above. You just put health minus minus, and it subtracts 1. then it's the same results as before, 20, 19, 20, 19. Now, let's say, actually no, that's going to be it for ints right now, but you can also do like health equals health plus 3, so now if you print out health, you'll get 22. See, 22. So, that's basics of health. I'll go into a bit more depth later on these. But the next variable that we're going to use, I know for sure we're going to use in the game, is called string. And this is a class in Java. So we have to assign it. So a string is basically text. And obviously one thing we're going to want to save is the name of the player. So string name, and then since I haven't taught anything at all about user input yet, we'll just put equals, and then, I don't know, Billy, Bob, Joe. And you have to put quotes here, because it is a string, or it is just text, and strings require quotes. Unless you're trying to set it to a variable, which is the same as system.out.println. So now we can do system.out.println, and if we type name here, it will print out this. Billy Bob Joe. And I'm going to teach you one more thing about this right here, which this applies to all strings basically. If it's a much simpler way of printing out multiple things. So let's say you wanted to print out hello and then their name. So right now it would run like hello Billy Bob Joe. But a much simpler way to do this is you can actually add things to the string. So if we type hello, and then we have to put a space here because there's a space between, we want a space between the name and the hello, and then you simply put a plus and name, and it adds these two together. So if we run that, then we get hello Billy Bob Joe. And that will be the end of this tutorial. Subscribe, comment, like. If you have any ideas, if you have anything specific you want me to cover, then comment it. And if I need to go over anything again, leave a comment about that, and I'll address it in a later video. And thanks for watching.